This happened in 2020, but it recently got brought up, so I thought I'd ask. So I, a 17-year-old girl, used to have a great relationship with my stepmother. I genuinely saw her as a mother figure in my life, and I was so excited when she found she was pregnant. But everything changed in 2020 when I had to stay prematurely with my dad during the lockdowns because my mom is a surgeon. At first, everything was normal until my stepmother, Tammy, was about 4 months pregnant. She started snapping at me for no reason, and things that she didn't care about before now bothered her. Now I wasn't a messy or a loud person. I did everything I was asked and respected the rules without any backtalk. But no matter what I did, she got angry. It came to a point she couldn't stand being in the same room as me. I remember I ended up staying in my room most of the time. I only left to do chores or get something from the kitchen. Even though she got mad, like one day she came into my room angry and started yelling that my room was so smelly it was making her sick. I pointed out that the only mess in the room was a half bag of chips, which caused her to burst out crying. As always, Dad babied her, then made excuses, saying she's struggling over lockdown, pregnancy, and not being able to see her family. My mental health was extremely bad. I felt like I was a piece of trash that on any day my dad was going to throw away. And I was always scared my mom would get sick. It went so bad my hair started falling out. The breaking point came when I was at the kitchen table, reading a story on my phone, waiting for my cereal to go soggy to eat it. When Tammy came in, Them started cleaning, loudly complaining about a mess. The kitchen was spotless. Then she took my bowl, then threw it in the bin, literally, even the bowl. So I just flipped and started yelling at her what was her problem with me and called her an abusive damn puss, among other things. My dad came running and got between us. She demanded that I leave the house, that I was never allowed near her kid. Dad walked me to my room, then said something that ruined our relationship forever. He told me that I must doing something to Tammy because no hates a kid for no reason, and if I kept stressing her, I'd have to move out. I then made a social media post asking someone for a place to stay. Explained the situation in detail, packed a bag, then climbed out my bedroom window. After about 30 minutes, my phone started blowing up, but I just turned it off and went to a friend's house. I texted my mom off my friend's phone to let her know everything she didn't call for 7 hours because she was in surgery. She said my aunt would pick me up the next day. My mom told my father I was okay and that I'd be staying with my aunt for 2 weeks till she could come home. Apparently, Dad and Tammy had to go door to door to my family, friends, houses, looking for me. You know, after I made the post, let's say they got a lot of crap. My grandparents still don't talk to him to this day. My aunt packed up my room because I refused to go back into that house. I've not spoken to my father in years or met my half-brother, Tammy, and Dad still try to fix our relationship. Apparently, sometimes pregnant women get hatred against people or pets for no reason. I'm turning 18 in 3 weeks, and a cousin's girlfriend asked me about inviting my dad, so I told her the story. She told me that while what they did was wrong, what I did was an asshole thing too, because I made them worry/stress and go to multiple people's houses during a pandemic that put a pregnant woman having a mental health issue at risk by a whole stunt. So, am I the a-hole for letting my dad think I was missing? Relevant comments. Comment 1. You can say to them that you moved on, you forgave them, but you are not interested in having a relationship with them, but you'd like to have a relationship with your brother. And go from there. Original poster responded, they won't let that happen. My dad has been trying for 4 years to get me to speak to him or fix the relationship, and even tried taking my mom to court to force me to visit. Like my mom had to physically remove Tammy by the hair because she refused to get out of her car once until we talked it out, saying she was my stepmom for 10 years and she couldn't bear losing her daughter. I had to leave out some much because the post would be a book. Comment 2. Accepting their apology and an opportunity to have a relationship with your sibling, not letting them take up free rent in your head, and knowing who you can rely on are all positive outlooks for the future once you've had a chance to deal with your feelings and your new viewpoint on your father, stepmom. But they both failed you, and showed you they won't have your back when you need it. It sounds like you have the backing of some pretty stable people. Everyone has to learn what box to put people in to create boundaries and know where a relationship lies. I'm sorry to hear it was your father who failed you and not a study buddy or recently acquired friend. Seek therapy and rely on those who support you. Pregnancy is not an excuse for abuse and abandonment. She continually exhibited abusive behavior, which your father chose to ignore and then support, and said it was a mistake, which makes him complicit. Which it is the mistake, the abuse, ignore it for months, the abandonment. A real father says this is stressful. Aunt is taking you in, not get the heck out, then woe is me, where's my kid? The fact it took them being called out to make them see the light is the final straw for me. Do they even see the light? Do you want to take that risk? College is calling. Take that opportunity to normalize, socialize, educate, use campus resources for therapy, and use your support system as a buffer if you decide to reintegrate slowly back into your dad's circle. Dip your toes in and use the distance to set the boundary. Original poster responded, I'm in therapy since after it happened my mental health was really bad, like I've come a long way. I'm medication too for anxiety, and I've had very bad trust issues since it all happened, but one day, I will get there, hopefully. My friend and her parents were shocked when they saw me. I lost a lot of weight and my hair was extremely thin from falling out due to stress. My aunt took pictures as well to show in court. Comment 3. They made a mess so they can live with the consequences. They both sound controlling in how they dealt with it too. Original poster responded, I don't know about the last few years since I've left, but before lockdown, I had a great relationship with them both and no issues, which made everything so hard to understand at the time. But I do know, because the lawyer mentioned it to my mom, that a lot of kids and women found themselves in the same situation, but a lot worse. Like I wasn't classed as an emergency, so it wouldn't go to court for at the very least a year. By the looks of it, lockdown brought out a few people's monsters. Update. Hi guys, I honestly thought I'd never give an update, but a 4. Here I'm going to call my cousin's girlfriend Sarah and my cousin Paul. So I mentioned in a comment that I uninvited Sarah from the party. Yesterday Paul came over to talk. He told me Sarah had issues in the past with her younger siblings. It was apparently really bad. Like her siblings lived with their mom full-time, and she lived with her dad. Long story short, Sarah was diagnosed with bipolar disorder in college and went to therapy. He said, even though she's apologized, her siblings still won't have anything to do with her, which breaks her heart. Paul said, Sarah told him that when I told her what happened, it triggered her because it reminded her of her situation with her siblings. I didn't mention in the other post because it was really irrelevant to what I was asking. But Sarah texted me about letting go of the hate, links to sites about family members with mental health issues, numbers of family therapists, even subreddits on here. He told me Sarah wanted to meet up to clear the air and apologize in person. I said okay. Sarah texted about half an hour later about collecting me because she wanted to drive to a new restaurant that newly opened in the next town over as her pre-birthday treat to me. We know what she was planning, but Tammy ruined it for her by calling my mom to tell her Sarah's plans to help us make up. I wrote my dad a letter 2 days ago, as a lot of you suggested. I put everything in there and told him how it affects me to this day. I told him I wanted a relationship with my brother, but I wasn't sure I'll ever want one with him. I told him to leave me alone because his actions are only pushing me away even more, and if I ever decide I want to talk to him, it will be on my terms with my mom present. The letter ended up being 5 pages, and you guys were right, it did make me feel better. My mom dropped it off that day, and Dad asked to meet her a day later. They talked about me meeting my brother, and my dad said he wants to buy me a car, no strings attached. Tammy and Dad also asked, would it be okay to give me money to get myself something for my birthday? You guys are going to hate me for this, but I'm taking the car and $500. If he wants to give me more, he can, because collage supplies and moving into a dorm is expensive. Back to Sarah. She's basically contacted Tammy via Facebook. Tammy sent my mom the screenshots, telling her everything I said, then asking Tammy her side because Sarah didn't believe me. To Tammy's credit, she told the truth and took full accountability. It was Sarah who kept trying to make out. Tammy was the victim. Sarah told Tammy about her own past and said she'd try to mend our relationship. Tammy told her that didn't want her to. The last message was Sarah telling Tammy the location and time we'd be at the restaurant. Even said she'd drive me, so I couldn't leave even though I just asked a waitress for help or call my mom. My mom posted the screenshots into the group chat and called Sarah a bunch of names and told her if she ever came near me again, she'd regret it. I blocked Sarah and left the group chat. So I don't know what happened afterwards. But Paul came over with my aunt and swore he knew nothing about it, to be honest. I don't know if I believe him because he was trying to defend Sarah again, which got him a verbal lashing from my aunt and mom. That's it, really. I'm going to update in a few months to let you guys know how everything went with my brother. I feel like I owe everyone that after so many people helped me take that step, because honestly, words can't describe how happy it's made me. Literally, the best birthday present I could have gotten. Thank you so much for the amazing advice and people sharing their own experiences. Even the women who suffered mental illness. Tammy did it. It helped me understand it a bit more, but I still can't forgive her. I don't think we can ever rebuild our relationship, especially to what it was. More relevant comments. Comment 1. Would love to know the conversation where Paul was defending Sarah and mom and aunt gave him a tongue lashing. Are Sarah and Paul still together? Original poster responded, I've not spoken to him since. And my mom said, don't worry about adult business. Just focus on the rest of my summer and my upcoming party. But the way he was talking about her, if I had to guess, he is comment 2. Did Sarah's inability to respect boundaries have anything to do with her family refusing to see her? Original poster responded, from what I've been told by Paul and the stuff Isa went the screenshots, she was horrible to her siblings. I dare say abusive even in the watered-down version. She said in one episode, she cut up her sister's clothes and ruined all her makeup by throwing them against their sister's bedroom walls. But then also said she replaced everything afterwards and apologized. So she doesn't understand why the sister still holds it against her. There's a lot more she said in the messages to Tammy comment. 3. Well, to Tammy's credit, she did not participate in this deception, and as soon as she learned of it, informed your mother. Your father made a mistake, a bad mistake. Tammy was unwell and in crisis. It's up to you to move forward. You can have zero relationship with your father or work on repairing. And repairing doesn't mean they have to dance to your tune. Taking the car and money without making an effort to connect is greedy. You are almost 18. It's time to think about who it is you want to be. Original poster responded, I didn't ask for the car or the money. He gave it, no strings attached. If he said I'd have to talk to him, I wouldn't accept it. He doesn't have to legally give me another penny in 3 more weeks. But if he chooses to, that on him. Update. Hi guys. As promised, I'd give everyone an update, and it's the final one. Short version. I turned 18 3 days ago and had a great time. I met my brother Sarah, tried to get in contact with me again, and I spoke to my father and Tammy. It's easier to break everything down. Sarah, a day after I made the last update, my mom booked a holiday for a week to get away, which was really random and sudden for her. 3 days in, my mom got a notification that someone was at our door. It was Sarah. Sarah at first was normal, asking my mom to talk to me. Then she started explaining herself and her situation, which went between sad, angry, but suddenly she freaked out, started calling me names and threatening me while damaging our door and porch, even broke the Ring camera. It was extremely scary. I don't blame her siblings for not wanting anything to do with her. Sarah was arrested. My mom is definitely pressing charges. I don't know much about her situation now, but I'm not gonna lie. I've been looking over my shoulder a lot since, for those wondering, yeah, her and my cousin broke up. He's, let's say, shaken up worse than me and very apologetic. My brother. My birthday went great. I had such a good time. Honestly, I've the best mother, family in the world. They really made my 18th special. I got so many amazing presents, but my favorite was the sister necklace my brother gave me. Obviously Dad or Tammy got it, but I finally get to be his sister. And that's what I've wanted for so long. We have spent some time together, and I'm seeing him again tomorrow. He's so extremely adventurous and never sits down for a second. He loves Miss Rachel and green. I found out that he and the neighbor's cat will stare each other down, which I used to do when I stayed with dads. I could talk for hours about him. I'm so glad you guys helped me meet him. I can't thank you enough for that. Dad. My dad was there the first time I met my brother. I knew beforehand, because obviously my brother is a toddler. Basically, we met at dad's sibling aunt's house. I was told he'd stay in the kitchen the whole time. I caught him peeking at me and brother a few times throughout the day when I was leaving. My dad followed me out and just hugged me. He told me he missed me. I hugged him back and told him I missed him too. As you know, it was the first time I've spoken to him in years. He apologized and took accountability. I started angry crying, then just left everything out. I told him how they made me feel, my mental health, and that I love him, but I'll never forgive him. He asked me if he could try to make it up to me and be a part of my life again. I said, we can try, but I'm making no promises on ever getting back the relationship we once had. We have spoken a few times, and he has helped me when I needed to bring my large dog home from the vets. Now, Tammy, you guys are going to be shocked, but I was the one who contacted her, so I got my mom to call her to basically say, Jessica is with me, she wants to speak to you. Tammy was obviously shocked, but agreed. I told her after everything she put me though, and how much she hurt me, that we'd never have a relationship, but I'm willingly, for just my brother's sake, not hers or mine, to be civil, because I want us to be able to attend my brother's events without drama. Tammy started apologizing and telling me she's not like that anymore. She got help, which I'm glad she's doing better. We talked about the Sarah situation, and my brother for a few minutes. The whole call was like 20 minutes. I've not spoken to her since, but like that, 5 days ago. So that's it. Really my last update date. I know what people are thinking about my dad. I've not forgiven him, and he will have to work extremely hard to get back the relationship we lost. But I feel better that he's back in my life, and I do believe both of them regret it. But if I get any shit, or think my brother isn't being treated well, I will make their lives hell. Thanks so much, Reddit, for the amazing advice. My name is Jessica, and I'm praying I'll never have to make a post on here again. Even more relevant comments. I am not in your shoes, so I am not telling you or advising you on what to do, but I just want to give you an experience I had. I, male, 32 at the time, was working in a small office and everyone got along. I worked with a woman, let's call her Gina, who I got along with great. We talked and joked and were very good friends. She found out she was pregnant and everyone was happy. Starting in her second trimester, she made my work life hell. She was always angry at me, condescending, made snide remarks, talked badly about me to others. I was the only one she was doing it to. I had no idea what I had done. Everyone else we worked with said I had done nothing and that she was out of line. People would speak to her and tell her she needed to stop. One of my coworkers pulled her aside to talk to her about it, and I was later told Gina had said she was acting the way she was because she couldn't stand me. I hoped I'd lose my job and everyone would be better off if I didn't work there anymore. I was miserable. I dreaded going into work. I started sending out my resume and even went on a couple interviews. Gina went on maternity leave and everything was peaceful. About a month after she had the baby, she came into the office to introduce her new daughter to everyone. She asked if she could talk to me privately, and we went into a conference room. She immediately started crying. I mean, gushing tears, ugly crying. She just kept saying how sorry she was. She had no idea why she did what she did. She said she knew she was being terrible, and she just couldn't stop herself. She heard everyone tell her she had to stop, and she just couldn't do it. She said she had even told her husband about it while she was pregnant, and he told her that it wasn't me, it was her. He told her he knew it was her because she did it to him when they were having their first kid. She said after the baby was born, all the thoughts and hostility went away. She could just not stop apologizing. There was no way it was an act. I told her that she made my life miserable for those months, and I was getting ready to find a new job, all because of her. She looked horrified and started crying even harder. But I liked my job and told her that I forgave her and I would hold off on leaving as long as everything was back to normal. She promised it would be. I also told her that if she got pregnant again, I was putting in my notice, joking, kind of, and everything did go back to normal. She was just as nice as she had been before the baby. Once again, I'm not telling you to do anything or trying to sway your thoughts on this. I just wanted to give you events from someone that found themselves in a similar situation. Poster replied, Tammy said something similar. She knew she was the bad guy and knew what she did was wrong. She told me, tried to always find ways to justify herself in the moment, but felt bad after. It's a thing that can happen during pregnancy. Some women turn against a cat they loved or even their own husbands. But unfortunately as well, Tammy after the baby had postnatal psychosis. For me, I knew she got help and changed. When she warned my mom about Sarah, I know her reason, and she's trying to make up for it, but I don't think I can forgive her. I saw her as a second mom. I think the best thing we can hope for in the future is a friendship.